Evening everyone, and welcome to my next how-to video. So following on from my very first how-to video a couple of weeks ago about how to remove disposable gloves safely, I thought I'd stay on that theme and talk about masks. There's been recent suggestions that masks may end up compulsory, definitely in London. London Mayor announcing today that he wanted to make it compulsory for everyone to wear masks. This is still against the WHO's advice, but I have seen lots of people wearing masks, and as with removing disposable gloves, lots of people wearing masks and contaminating themselves far more than if they weren't wearing a mask. So I thought I'd just go through some basic common sense, but something that I've seen a lot of, especially when I've been in the supermarkets, which are scary places to be at the moment, with people wearing masks and gloves and thinking that they then are invincible and can touch any part of their face, mask, etc. whilst shopping. So how to wear a mask. There are several different types of mask. There aren't that many available. Obviously we want as many as possible to go to healthcare workers, nurses, doctors, carers, us as vets if we're working in close contact with clients unavoidably for emergencies also need to wear masks, and that's why I've got them. So kindly donated by my clients actually. So several different types of mask. I've got two to show you here. Here's a very good one, quite hard to get hold of, given to me by a client this morning actually, which is what I'll be wearing when I'm in close contact with clients from now on. And this one here is probably the more common one that you may see and that we see people wearing. So I'll show you how to put on this one, but I just want to talk about these masks first of all. Again, I've seen them worn incorrectly. Make sure if there's colour on them, the colour is normally always to the outside, and there's always a bit of reinforced material, often metal, and that's used to bridge around your nose. So always make sure you get your mask the right way around to start with, and if you're going to reuse your mask, which is probably unavoidable in current circumstances, then it'd be quite a good idea to just use a little pen before you've worn it for the first time and just mark a little dot or draw a little diagonal pattern or write your name, whatever you want to do on the outside top of the mask so you remember which way around it's gone. So when you come to put back on a potentially contaminated mask, because that may be unavoidable, you're not there sort of trying to look and decide which way up it goes and touching every part of it, because once you've worn a mask once, the outside of that is then contaminated, and it's really important to remember that when you're going to reuse a mask. So normally if it's a white and blue mask, then or a coloured mask, the coloured bit is to the outside, is away from your skin, and your reinforced metal bit is on the top, because that will bridge over your nose when you put your mask on. So, and a good idea, just get a permanent marker and do a little dot on the upper outside of the mask so you remember that. So how to put on a mask? First of all, clean your hands. So always a really good idea to have some hand gel, plenty of it available now, I'm told, in your car. You get to the supermarket, give your hands a really good 20-minute clean with the hand gel. Obviously you're not going to have a soap and water in your car, so the hand gel, make sure you get really inside the webs of your fingers. Use it for about 20 minutes, and that will be about the time it takes to dry. So clean hands, ready to put your mask on. Mask that you're using for the very first time, that's just come out of a packet, is obviously not going to be contaminated on the outside, so you can touch these masks on the outside. This one's got two elastic strands. Some of these masks have the elastic strands to go around your ears as well, around the back of your head as well. Some of them just have the ones to go around your ears. So taking hold of your mask, you would hold it up to your face. I'm probably going to have to take this off to talk to you afterwards, because I don't think you'll be able to hear me, but cup it in one hand, that goes up to your face, the bits of elastic over the back, first bit up high, the next one underneath your hair, so lift your hair up and let it go underneath your hair, and then adjust this bit of elastic here so that the mask is a really snug fit around your face. Very attractive look here. So, and then you've got your metal band at the top, and that's designed to go over the bridge of your nose. So just press down on it until it's a completely firm seal, and then you should be able to, even with these masks, you should then be able to exhale, holding your hands, I'm not sure if you can hear me or not here, I hope you can, holding your hands just above your nose, breathe out, and you shouldn't feel any air coming out around the side of your mask. And that's a really good mask if you can't feel any air coming out the side. We're not all going to have the really good masks, but it's just if you do have these, make sure you fit it And you can still do the same with these, with the metal bit around the bridge of your nose. You can still fit those, they're very snug around the top of your face. So the most important thing when you're wearing a mask is do not touch the outside. I've seen so many people thinking they're protecting themselves, protecting everyone else, going around a supermarket, picking up this item, putting it in the trolley, adjusting their mask. I saw one lady a few days ago, and literally every time she picked something up, she fiddled around with her mask. She was wearing gloves, so perhaps she thought that was protecting her, but she was picking up an item, putting it in her trolley, and then adjusting her mask. And every time someone came near her, she'd turn away from them and put her hand on her mask. She really shouldn't have been wearing a mask in that situation, because she's then covering her face and her mask with whatever she's touched on all of the items in the shop. So if you're going to go shopping and you want to wear your mask and your gloves, I'll pop these on quickly, remembering from my last video how to take them off. So you've been out, you've done whatever you want to do, you haven't at any point touched the outside of your mask, but it is still going to be contaminated. The outside of your mask, once you've worn it once, is going to be contaminated if someone with COVID-19 has been close to you. But you should always think of it as being contaminated, because that's why you're wearing it. You're obviously also wearing it to protect other people from you, but ultimately when you're walking around with 10 other people in reasonably close proximity in a supermarket, the reason you're wearing it is so that you don't inhale any of their germs, so to speak. So as soon as you've worn a mask once, imagine the outside of it now is completely contaminated. So you've done your shop, you haven't touched the outside of your mask, you get out to your car, so you've got your shopping in your both hands. What do you do now? So I've seen people, again, not that I'm stalking people, but you just notice these things, get to their car and do this. No, please don't do that. You've then touched your contaminated hand with the contaminated outside of the mask. You just popped it down so that it sits all over your clothes, it sits on the skin of your neck. Don't wear your mask like this. It needs to be taken off once you've finished your whatever you're doing. So I'm just pop it back on. So to take it off, gloves off first of all, because your hands underneath, in theory, should be clean. If you've cleaned them, you've sanitized them before you've put gloves on, your hands underneath these gloves are clean. If you've got hand gel to hand, perfect, then use that as well. So gloves off, like I talked about the other day, so I won't go into that, without touching your skin. Gloves off. Hand sanitizer, bit of gel on your hands, 20-second clean. And this is why it's actually hard work wearing a mask if you wear it properly. There's no point in wearing a mask if you're just going to pop your hand on it and whip it off. So hands clean, time to take your mask off. If you've got two elastic pieces, bottom one over your head, don't touch the front of your mask, let that hang. Next one over your head, and you've got your mask here. So that is contaminated now. You've worn it, it's contaminated. So you're going to put it away somewhere if you have to reuse it, which it's very likely most of us are going to have to reuse the masks. We don't have thousands of them, so we can throw them away every time we wear them. Ideally, every time you've worn it once, that would be it in the bin. But even the doctors and nurses don't have that luxury. So fold your mask up. You are now touching it. It's sort of unavoidable to put it away, so you're going to clean your hands straight away afterwards, and then find something to store it in that's clean. Although the outside of this is contaminated, you still want to keep the mask as clean as possible, and coming into your house or chucking it on the seat of the car, if there's any viral matter on the outside of here, you're going to spread it around all over the place. So have something you can pop your mask into. Paper bag is a really good idea. Pop it in the paper bag and then fold over the edge and secure it somehow so that you've got your mask safe and as clean as possible, ready for your next wear. Pop that down to the side. You've touched your mask, it's contaminated, so hand gel again. So I'm sure there's plenty of it around now. I've seen it in most of the shops. Clean hands and you're finished. So please, please, if you're going to wear a mask, there is no point in wearing a mask. It's actually more dangerous if you walk around touching it. Once you've got a mask on your face, do not touch that mask again at all until it's time to take it off. Hope that's helpful. Bye.